Welcome to the DJ Insider Podcast, sponsored by Amplified Events.
It's the only podcast where we break down insider information from our weddings, experiences, and advice from over 15 years in the wedding industry.
We're your hosts. I'm Mike Kane, owner of Amplified Events.
And I'm Chris Zart, general manager of Amplified Events.
Let's get into it. Okay. We're back.
Welcome back. We're here.
This is week 7.
Yeah.
Episode
It's already flying
7.
by this wedding season.
I mean,
it definitely makes things go faster. I feel like weekends have been super busy, but yeah, how was your weekend?
Really good. Really good.
Where are you at?
Cog Hill Country Club.
I don't know if I've been there. Where's that at?
I don't know if it's Palos Park or Lamont. It's right on that border there. Beautiful. Older venue, older country club, but beautiful architecture, like wood interior, super easy layout. The ceremony was right outside. Reception was on the other side, outdoors. We had a live musician, Doug Reba, come out and play.
Nice. Yeah.
He sang a few songs and played a few songs. It was great.
Yeah, I worked with him
Absolutely
a few times.
perfect. Adds a lot of energy to cocktail. And then, intros and dinner and dancing. Total rager, total full floor all night. Lots of light because we had our uplights, and then they had those like foam glow sticks, the ones that you like press the button and it's like strobing, and then you press it again, it's just like a slow fade or a color change. Mm-hmm. People love those, and the couple got a really bunch popular of them, and we were like loading them up, turning them on, and I was just tossing handfuls in the air.
That's a good idea. Just throw them at people.
Yes, that's what I did. I was like, they're foam.
Usually they just put them like in a basket, but like
I checked
you have
with
to
the
make an
venue coordinator.
announcement.
I was like, is this okay? She's like, yeah. So I just kept tossing them.
Throw them out there.
And then I was like, we're still a lot more. And a kid came up and just had like he was just walking around with like hugging, 20 of these things.
It's always funny when like I have the uplights and stuff, and it, like the youngest kid will just stick their face right in it, and they're like, "Whoa!" It's like that can't be good. It's
gonna definitely burn your retinas, buddy.
Yeah, I had a pretty good wedding over the weekend. I would say, some venues that you're at, it just looks nice regardless. Yeah. And then some you got to put a little more work with like decoration or whatever. So I was at Butterfield Pavilion, which the building, I mean, it's a nice space. It's like, it's great having that like fresh air come in. That they don't like have like really any heating or AC, but like they just keep the doors open. If you're on a nice summer day, weather was perfect that day. It was like, mid 70s in the night. It just felt good. And everybody was having a good time. And they just did an excellent job decorating the place.
We put them on our Facebook. I reshared it from Spare Room Studios. She did a phenomenal job.
It looked so good.
Transformed the space.
Yep. So I was pretty impressed by that because, I've just been to venues where like, you can go really mild on the decoration just because it like already looks good. But this was like a space where there's a lot to work with there. It's a pretty simple room, but if you do it right, it can look really good. Yeah. And I just seen them do that. I was super impressed. Yeah. So it was just really, really beautiful. They did a really good job.
It's a big kind of pavilion style atrium, kind of not barn, but it's kind of like industrial a little bit. Mm-hmm. There's like metal pillars and there's wood. There's a lot of elements there.
Yeah.
Concrete poured floor.
A lot of natural light coming in.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it's done through the Parks Department, so it's pretty cheap to rent. My wife and I were looking at that when we got married. Mm-hmm. But yeah, there's no AC. It's tables and chairs, and you got to decorate yourself, and then kind of bring in your own kind of food. So
but if you know what you're doing, and they did, it looks,
my goodness,
it looks so nice.
I couldn't believe it. I shared it because this is gorgeous.
Yeah.
Anything interesting or unusual or anything that's podcast worthy that happened that you want to discuss about it?
Nothing over this weekend.
Just pretty typical.
It was just a good group of people, and they were just very chill.
I had a few things that I thought were fascinating.
Okay.
That happened at mine. I'm always looking for that. And it kind of brings me to kind of another fun game. Mm-hmm. And it has to do, and this is kind of a broader topic, so I'll do my best to narrow it. But we talk a lot about what a good DJ is, what a bad DJ is, what it means to be good bride and groom, and what things bride and grooms should be aware of and work on, that kind of thing. But we don't talk about what it means to be a good guest at a wedding. And I had some interesting things that happened with guests at this wedding, and then we'll get into kind of the game.
Yeah.
I had a couple of guests come up. One is an older gentleman. Now, the bride and groom made it clear one slow song to open the night. It was Frank Sinatra's My Way. Beautiful. But they're like, that's the only slow song.
Yeah.
We've got you a lot of stuff, a lot of music. They did. They gave me some maybe plays, some must plays, and I just worked with that list.
Yeah.
I had a few filler ones that I knew would mix well that weren't on their list, but it wasn't on the do not play. But and it worked well with the generation with what was hitting. They had a lot of stuff that was good for old and young people, so it was nothing to do with that. But this guy kept coming up and being like, play something I can dance to. Oh, do some more rock and roll. Do this or do this. And, this guy quickly forgot that it wasn't his wedding. And it got to be, we did a lot of oldies, a lot of fun stuff that the bride and groom is on their list. It kind of fit with what that guy wanted and with what people were dancing to. Full floor. I kid you not, all night.
Yeah.
Nobody left. Family, friends, everybody's out there. And then, it gets later. We closed at midnight.
That's a late night.
So it's like 9:30, 10 o'clock, and we're switching to hip hop. We're going hard.
Yeah.
We're going to party mode. And this guy's like, I can't dance to this. Play some more of that old stuff. Play some more slow songs. And I'm just like, finally I had to just be like, man, look, there's nothing. We've done that. We're moving on. This is not, I was polite about it, but that was really frustrating because it's just like, not your wedding, guy.
Yeah.
It's not your wedding. If you want to hire us for your wedding, I'll play the dustiest, slowest, funnest, whatever you find fun. But do not understand that this is someone else's wedding.
Yes.
And it's what they find fun. What they and their family, and most importantly, their friends in a lot of ways, want to dance to and party to.
It's insane that, this is very obvious stuff to us. And I'm still surprised when a situation like that happens where, I guess, we'll make it about them. And it's really, my first thought is, this isn't about me. Yeah. This is their wedding day. I was invited to this wedding, and even seeing a full dance floor behind you. Like, how do you, you know what I mean? How do you justify that? I don't know. That's coming from me, but.
He's out there on the dance floor going thumbs down.
I hate that.
He's out there going, why are you playing this song?
It's really hard, too, because I feel like one bad moment or someone, like, trying to tear me down and just doing something like that really hurts so much more than like 10 positive things.
Yes.
And like, I've had nights where I just absolutely kill it the entire night and I am just really on top of it. Everything's going like super smooth. And just a moment like that can just like really make me feel sour. And it hurts. It like hurts when that happens for sure.
When guests come up and request songs, I do my best to play it. I want to play it, especially if it kind of fits with what we're doing. But sometimes, a lot of times, that doesn't work. And what happened is some people were coming up, and we could work it in. It was on the list anyway, so we made it happen. But there's other ones that people come up, and they're like, play Kelly Clarkson. And they're like, okay, that kind of fit generationally with what we're doing music-wise. And I had it queued up, but then the bride came up and was like, play this song off my must playlist. No problem. Guess what I'm doing? I'm going to immediately play the song the bride wants, not the song a guest requested. But then later in the night, we were done. It was the last song of the night. We played the last song. Everyone's singing. We're done. It's midnight. It's actually like a minute prior to midnight. It's like we try to end as close as to midnight as we can, but we want to do it before.
Keep the venue happy.
Keep everybody
happy. Coming back. Yeah.
And we're contracted till then. They've not paying us to stay later. We're not going to keep playing music all night. We want to go home. It's a long day. We're tired.
Yep.
The venue staff is tired. Everyone's been working. But that same person came up to me and was like, play one more slow song. I said, no, we're done. That was the last song. That's why I said last song. This is the last song. I made several announcements, And then she's like, well, just do one more slow song. And I go, well, the bride and groom made it clear that, like, they just wanted the one slow song. That was it. And also that we just played the last song. That's it. And then she's like, she tried to pull rank. Well, I am so-and-so related to this person. And, like she has a position of authority over me. And so I should just do what she says because she knows better. And I go, I'm sorry, I met with the couple. They're the ones who booked me. They told me, and by the way, their time has expired. We're done. And she wanted, it was like 1 minute left. So she wants, a 3.5 to 4.5 minute song. So we're going till 12:05. By the way, if you do that as a DJ, it's unprofessional. But second of all, what happens then is then another person comes up. Why don't you play one for them, one more for me too?
You set a precedent. You're showing the rest of the people like, oh, I could just be walked over. You have to have, I don't know, a good DJ is assertive.
Yes.
And honestly, you also, I think, need to know when to be passive as well.
Yes.
Never aggressive, but definitely assertive.
Yes.
And I think kind of going back to that, like, oh, someone, I always start really light, joking when they're like, play this, you suck, and I'm like, guy, you got me.
Come on,
and
man.
I try and keep it light at the start, but if they keep pushing me, then I have to like put my foot down, because I mean I'm not gonna be treated like that.
Same. People get violent. We've talked about.
Oh yeah,
people have threatened. People have assaulted me. They've dumped stuff. And so eventually you have to. I'm not going to play it.
Right.
I'm not going to play it. If this continues, I'm going to have security remove you. It's that serious. It gets that serious.
Happened one time for me. Yeah. One time.
And so I finally basically made clear I'm not doing the song.
Yeah.
And then she's like, well, you guys were boring anyways. And I'm like, you were dancing all night. We had one last year that happened, same thing. The girl drunk, end of the night, she's putting her wine glass on my DJ table. I grab it, set it over on an actual table, not on my turntables. What are you doing? No, I'm gonna drink. Well, they'll drink it. Don't put it on my.
I was with you on that one, actually.
And then she's like, whatever, you guys have terrible taste. And it's the end of the night. She's been dancing all night because she can't put her wine glass on my turntable. Therefore, we are terrible DJs.
Which is pretty obvious of like, we don't want that to spill on our equipment, and then we're gonna hold you liable. This is all bad for you.
It's all bad.
And there's 20 tables around you.
What a lot of people don't know too is that the couple has signed an agreement that they're responsible not only for their behavior but their guests' behavior. So if that guest at that other wedding, not the one this past weekend, had ruined my equipment, that's thousands of dollars. I can hold the couple legally responsible for that. I usually don't. But
it's not like you want to do that.
That's right. Exactly. Yeah. No, I'm trying to avoid that at all costs.
Yep.
But that is super negligent, and it's an easy fix. There's plenty of tables. Anyway, so that leads me into the game.
Okay.
Which is called Don't Be That Guy. Don't be that guy, right? So what are some things, I have a few, but what are some things that, like, if you're attending a wedding this summer or next summer, in the future, you attend a wedding at all as a guest, behaviors, things that we've seen drunken guests do to us, to the DJs in general, that we've considered just, it's ruined the wedding or it's been bad. It's been a really bad thing. You shouldn't do it. Don't be that guy.
Okay. I would say, the one that makes me the most uncomfortable is people coming up to me and touching me.
Yes.
You don't go up and touch strangers. You just don't do that. Yeah. But when people have been drinking and they feel like, when you're the DJ at the wedding, there's a lot of people, and there's a lot of positive experience I've had for this, where people are like, they've just met me, but it's like we're best friends. And that was 2 weeks ago, and all the guests I was just so buddy with. I loved that. It was so much fun. I really love that relationship you can have DJ to crowd. It's fantastic. But when someone comes up and they're putting their arm around me or like putting their hand on my shoulder, and it's like almost like they're trying to have power over me.
That's exactly.
But the whole thing just makes me feel uncomfortable.
Yes.
I wouldn't do that to somebody else. You wouldn't just go up to some person randomly at the grocery store and put your hands on them. So it's just, I don't know you. You don't know me.
Yeah.
I'm not comfortable with that. And generally I try and express that when that's happened, but it happens a lot. It honestly happens probably every wedding. I have someone come up to me and they like, hey, I just, that drives me crazy. So
number one, don't be that guy is
no physical contact.
No physical contact with the DJ.
Yep.
My wife went wide-eyed a few weeks ago when I told her that more than once I have been sexually assaulted by women and a few men at a wedding. I've been groped. I've been pinched. People have tried to kiss me. Very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And my wife was like, why didn't you report it? I was like, let's not get into that. This is not. But the important thing is, don't be a wedding guest who is assaulting the DJ. Don't touch them. Don't touch them. That's number one. Another one. This one kind of came up, of course, but don't pull rank. It's a way of verbally asserting authority over somebody. Well, I'm the sister's best friend. I'm the cousin. I'm the sister of the groom. I'm the best man. Don't pull rank.
Yeah.
Don't pull rank. Just, you're coming up to make a request about a song. Just make that request. Don't try to say, I'm in charge, you do what I say. And we talked a little bit in the past too about people bribing you, paying money,
and it's
thinking
all
they
about,
own you.
Yeah, that was a previous episode, but it's just all how about you go about it. If someone comes up and they're immediately trying to take advantage of me and oh, I'm so and so, I don't want to play that song. I'm already in a negative headspace then. But if hey, can you make it work? I want to make it work then.
Right. Come up and politely request the song and then go away.
Yeah.
So that's number 2 is don't hover. People want to search our music library. They can't think of the song. They want to get on my computer while I'm mixing music live with a full dance floor, and they're wanting to search my, 30,000 music library for that specific song or inspiration for a specific. No, this is not you get to figure out what you want hour. This is about we're running a dance floor. Don't be the guy that wants to search my music library.
Right.
And on that, don't touch equipment. Don't put drinks on the turntables. Don't put drinks on the speakers. Don't touch it if it's not yours. Mm-hmm. The weekend prior, at the end of the night, I was pulling up tape because it was literally right before the last song. And then there was all these girls that were on my laptop searching. Like I turned around, hey, what are you doing? Scram, like they literally scrammed. They all ran off. It was like 3 of them were all like, oh, where's this song? I want this Drake song or whatever.
You walk away for like 2 seconds.
What are you doing? It was like they were literally on my stuff, in my stuff. Don't be that guy. If you don't like the song, don't be the guy that's on the dance floor. Next song. Boo. Thumbs down. Don't be a heckler. This is a wedding. This is a celebration for a bride and groom, for people that ideally care about you.
A few
and
weeks
you
ago,
got invited.
That happened to me, and it was this guy, was asking me for. It was just music that was completely different from what the bride and groom wanted, and I explained that to him, and he was like, whatever. And then the bride came up and asked for one of her must plays on her list, and I was kind of saving it for a little later in the night, but she's like, I want to do that now. Let's get it going. I'm like, oh, absolutely. I hit play. He's on the dance floor. Dance floor's like packed. He's in the middle of everybody, and he's like this.
Oh, I hate that. Cut it.
And I'm like, you, dude, come on.
Yeah. Then they come up and yell at you and insult you. You have terrible taste. Like they think
Luckily,
that this is my personal music that I listen to when I'm not. That's right. I always listen to, Chicken Dance when I'm not DJing. It's so ridiculous. I love the wobble, just unwinding in the car, listening to the wobble. It's so, and the other thing is that they think that hurts my feelings. It just annoys and frustrates me, know.
Yeah.
It's not about my taste or style. And what they're really insulting typically is the bride and groom's taste and style. Mm-hmm. I've had an old guy, it wasn't a grandfather or a parent, but he came up and he was like, don't play this song. And it was like Beyonce, and it was like, I said, well, the bride has requested this song. And he goes, well, the bride is wrong. That's what he told me to my face at not his wedding, at the bride's. Like, the bride is wrong? What are you talking?
Say that to her?
I was like, go say that to her. And that's the other thing. Don't be that guy that goes and hassles the bride and groom to play. Because if we say no, then they go hassle the couple. Yeah. And the couple feels put on the spot. And then they're like, okay, I guess play Chicken Dance or play this polka hit. Even though that's not what they want.
Which then I feel, because it makes you feel bad, because then you put them in that uncomfortable position. Yeah. But I mean, I really just try and let guests know, like, hey, I will, if it's like a song that I can maybe fit in, it's just I'll try my best, but no promises. Like I can't make a promise to you. But
don't be that guy.
Don't be that guy.
This is the last one, unless you have others. Don't be the guy that gets so drunk that you embarrass the couple, you embarrass yourself, that you cause damage to the venue, to the equipment.
That's good life advice in general.
It's good life advice in general. Don't be a problem to the people in your life because you can't handle being out one night as an adult.
Honestly, I think most of the things we're mentioning, it's funny that we even have to say it, because any other social situation, this would not be okay.
It would be a criminal
You wouldn't
assault,
go behind the bar and start pouring yourself drinks.
That happens all the time at venues. People steal from it's a big problem. Sorry.
No, that's it. I was just saying.
People just think they own the spot because they're having a wedding there.
That we even have to point these things out. It seems common sense. It seems like it is, but
I don't know what it is. Yeah. But at weddings, people act like it's like Mardi Gras. The rules of social just decency no longer apply. I can touch you. I can assault you. I can steal. I can destroy property and vandalize. And it's a wedding, man. Yeah. What?
Yep.
Sorry.
I want you to let loose and have a good time.
Of course.
But, rules are rules still.
You want to be a good wedding guest.
Yeah.
And so that's...
And you want to be invited to the next wedding.
Yes.
But
I think that's the other thing is now we've talked all the negatives. What are some ways to be a good wedding guest in our experience? I think first and foremost is the right attitude. You go in there that it's not about me. It's about celebrating the couple. I'm going to do everything. I'm going to try all the food. I'm going to look at how beautiful the decorations are. I'm going to sign the guest book. I'm going to take a photo with the
hype person.
Yes.
Be the bride and groom's number one hype person.
Yes.
Be that couple's, you just want to boost them up. And then also same thing with the DJ. When I have guests that are, just reaffirming me and they're making me feel good, I put that energy back out to the dance floor and to the entire wedding. So like when I meet with like a bridal party and I'm like, how are you guys doing? And they're all like back at me and they're like, yeah, like I don't know, that energy, it goes back and forth. Yeah. When I put that out there and it comes back, I just want to amplify it even more,
Yes.
And yeah, that's what makes a good wedding is
yes.
Be there for them, be there for us, hype us up. That energy is shared for sure. I'm trying to think of
be committed to having a good time, to celebrating this marriage.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be committed to doing what you want to do and not being fun, refusing to dance unless they play your Metallica song or whatever. Don't heckle and hassle the staff. Don't, by the way, I know photographers, right? Don't make the photographer take personal headshots of you.
Yeah.
That's not what they're being paid to do.
That happens a lot.
If you want that, pay them.
I've had a lot of photographers have to apologize to me, not that they're having to apologize, but they're like, I'm sorry, I know I was like supposed to be here 10 minutes ago, but Aunt so-and-so made me take 1,000 pictures. Yeah. I'm like, I understand.
Yeah. And if you're a family member or in that bridal party, be ready to go. Be quick, be prompt, take the photo, smile. You're making a memory. It's not about you. Be there, do the photo, and move on to the next thing, and just be there to celebrate and have a good time. Don't make it about you.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing is leave your drama at the door. You could stay home. You don't have to come to the wedding. If you're going to get in a big fight with your significant other or whatever, and it's just causing drama, I've had people get into fights, physical fights, scraps.
I've seen a marriage end at a wedding. Like literally,
not their wedding.
Like one of the few weddings that my wife tagged along with me. She was like my assistant, and I just saw this like couple like fighting in the corner pretty heavily, and I mean. Yeah, she was like watching, kind of like trying to figure out what was going on. And I mean, that relationship ended that night. That was so crazy to see, but wow.
It's not a good guest.
No.
Be a good guest.
Yeah.
It's not about you.
It's crazy.
It's about your loved ones celebrating their marriage. And you can be a part of that and be integral and encourage them because they're going to be stressed, but you know how to get in there and encourage them and have a good time with them.
Being invited to a wedding should be a privilege, not a free for all.
Where's
I
my
can
plus
do what
one?
I want.
Yeah, where's my? That's another. Yeah, how come no plus one? I was like, well, it's $150 a plate, and you just started dating.
Oh, but my boyfriend's coming though.
Just started dating Steve a week ago.
Yeah. Oh man.
There's always that kind of thing. Anyway, that's more like planning stuff, but
that's also a warning I think I can put out to couples too. Is you are probably going to have guests that are going to invite one or two people, so kind of plan in your guest count for like a leeway of 10 people.
That's a good
I think
idea.
that's good. And you're not going to get a lot, but there's a good chance it's going to happen. And you might lose somebody and then someone brings somebody so it works out anyways. But like, have that wiggle room for sure if you can.
I had people show up to my wedding that were not invited. They were specifically not invited because I did not want them at my wedding. I didn't like them. They were friends with other friends of mine, but I didn't like them.
Right.
And they showed up anyways. So, hey.
And then you're just
good
like,
to see ya. Thanks for
happening.
coming. Yeah.
Oh man.
Oh man.
Something I kind of wanted to touch on.
Yeah,
in case, was there anything else with this you wanted to say?
I think we hammered that home.
Cool. I know I liked that a lot. Is just going into the future now. We have a lot of competition with technology advancing. I think there's a lot of businesses out there, voice actors, anything that involves like data entry is being taken over by AI software, which is a very new thing. I mean, it's existed for a while. It's been working out, but this whole like ChatGPT, all of that, it's so new, but it's blowing up right now. Do you see that impacting the wedding industry? I'm not exactly talking just our business with DJs, but I would not be surprised in the next few years if we start seeing some sort of AI taking over a business. Just because, I mean, someone's always like, well, I can play music. Yeah. And then if you just have a computer that can read a dance floor with a camera. I don't know. I don't know how it's going to go, but where do you see that going in the future?
So yeah, I've thought about this. I think it'll be a while. It'll be a long while. Maybe I'm wrong. Before our jobs are completely obsolete when it comes to DJing. And the first and foremost, because of course a robot could come up with the playlist. They could come up with a good playlist, basically, you know, an algorithm based on most popular songs requested at weddings.
Yeah.
They could probably do pretty good with that. But can a computer understand why a song is hitting for certain people? Probably not. And why a song's not hitting for certain people. And why people, what about that song that people like?
Right.
So yeah, an AI, it'd have to be so sophisticated that it would be indistinguishable. It'd have to understand what it means to be human. And by the way, there are humans who aren't good at picking a good song next for dancing.
Right.
Lots of them, actually. So I can't imagine that a computer would be better at that than a human at this stage.
I think it, you know, music and art requires really high emotional intelligence.
Yes.
And that's something that computers are not at yet. And I kind of agree. I don't think, and I don't think that we're ever going to even really be in a time where we're completely obsolete, just because this is one of many jobs that I think people personally like having a human there, person that they can interact with from day one. I'm on the phone with you. You're my DJ. You're there. You've been through the planning process with me. You're there the day of. You're interacting with my guests. People like that human element. Same thing with, like, you know, the love that people put into food when they're cooking. There's some of those jobs that I just don't see being 100% replaceable. Sure, there's going to be alternatives out there, but I don't see that completely like wiping out our job or whatever, if that makes sense.
Our old logo was the party bot, was the...
well, we're just predicting the future.
Before I got married, my wife and I, for Halloween, I dressed up as a robot that was called Party Bot.
Nice.
That had 3 modes, which was...
I didn't know that, actually.
Which was like off, you know, party, and kill all humans. Those were his 3 modes. And I had a little like thing that I could adjust the modes on the inside of the cardboard. So we brought that to our wedding, and Ashley and I put it on, like, you know, went nuts with Party Bot. So that's kind of why when I started this company, one of the logos was Party Bot.
I didn't know that. That's really funny.
A robot. So it's kind of funny to think that a robot could replace me as a DJ.
Yep.
Again, I think that would be a long time. They'd also have to be able to literally visually observe the dance floor, observe people's reactions, and then make adjustments based on that.
Yeah.
And then make new observe. It's possible, but...
and if you think we're getting physically assaulted, these robots...
my goodness. Nobody will have any respect for them. Yeah.
It's going to be bad. Pouring drinks on them.
I guess
it'll happen.
I guess so. But yeah, I guess if people could probably run a sophisticated playlist. So yeah, it'd be interesting. It'd be definitely interesting to see. I think it'll be a minute. It also, you'd have to understand that as long as it's humans buying... humans probably want to work with other humans in that specific
as of now
way.
Yeah,
you said there's warmth, there's things of being human that you can't quantify yet.
Yep.
So we're on our way.
That was all. I just thought of that the other day. Thought that was interesting, just because that's been the hot stuff lately. But
I love it. Well, let's wrap here. Thanks for listening, DJ Insider Podcast. I'm Mike.
I'm Chris.
We will see you on the dance floor.